Hello, my name's Josh, and I'll be talking about how we've adapted our Agile process to work with the LLVM community. First, I want to note that there's multiple teams within Sony who are contributing to LLVM. This talk just reflects my team and not necessarily all the teams. In the very beginning of PlayStation 4 compiler development, we were a very small team and basically had an ad hoc process. As we grew and the work grew, it became clear we needed some process. So we adopted Scrum, which came highly recommended to us. We attended training, brought in an expert, really went all in to give it a go. And after we got through our growing pains, we found it actually kind of worked for us. We completed the work we set out to do in our sprints. Looked good. And then suddenly we started having sprint burn downs that looked like this, where at the end of the sprint, we were seemingly no better off than we were at the start. So what went wrong? We looked at a lot of different factors, like maybe we were just really bad at estimating, or we couldn't do sprint planning correctly, or maybe the sprints were the wrong length. None of those turned out to be a real contributing factor. Instead, what we found was looking at our actual task breakdown. Now, very early on, we'd have task breakdowns that looked like this. And at this point in time, we weren't allowed to communicate with the open source community with LLVM due to the secret nature of the project. Fortunately, that changed, and we were able to send stuff upstream and ask questions and discuss. But our initial attempt at doing that was to add this task on at the end to just send something upstream. Probably everyone here in the room knows that that probably doesn't work very well. It doesn't benefit from any feedback in the design and review, and often results in doing the work multiple times. Also, it gets really easy to just drop this off at the end of the sprint. So we tried to fix that and integrated the engagement with upstream at every step in the process. And this worked well in terms of giving us better reviews, better feedback, and just more confidence that what we were doing was on the right track. Unfortunately, it meant that it was very difficult to estimate how long tasks would take. And we look at the definition of Scrum. There's several factors that are somewhat conflicted with working with an open source community. A lot of the work that we do depends on a group, LLVM community, that's outside of the control of the Scrum team. And a lot of our work's actually directed by others in part. And this is kind of an essential conflict. So what do we do? So introducing twins, which just stands for this workflow is not Scrum. So we looked at what went well, and we looked at what didn't go well, and we adapted and see if we could get something that worked better for us. So in essence, twins has one or more prioritized backlog. People can pull tasks off of it, much like in Kanban. New tasks are added and prioritized continuously. And we don't pay attention to where that task came from, whether it's something someone on the team came up with, or if it came from a customer. We do estimate tasks coarsely. Normally in Scrum, the estimation would happen by the team members, and it would dictate sprint planning. Here we do it by either the tech leads or product owners, and it really just exists as a sanity checkpoint so that people can go, hey, this task is not as small, what were you thinking? And then tasks progress through Kanban-like states like ready, in progress, and review, and done. We do not set a work in progress limit because we find that some tasks get blocked for factors beyond our control. Please see the Euro LLVM talk from Christoph Bell on do reviews have to take so long. But oftentimes things get blocked for very legitimate reasons. So it's not uncommon that we have multiple works in progress. So instead of setting a limit there, we just manage it carefully and make sure no one's getting too overloaded and that tasks don't get lost in the shuffle. We still keep daily stand-ups as a sync point. That's very useful. And we do have regular retrospectives and demos. We just don't associate them with a sprint anymore. We just do them on a calendar basis, like once a month. So in a nutshell, Twins drops the concept of a sprint to better accommodate working in open source with the LLVM community. It's very similar to Scrumban in the sense we're just combining Kanban with Scrum in a way that works for us. And the benefit, one of the things is that it allowed us to focus on different work and contribute to more interesting projects like MCA and DWAR5, PGO, Thin LTO, and things like that. And it also makes the team a lot happier. That's it. Thank you.